In the name of Allah, the most gracious, the most merciful, I bear witness there is no God but God, and God is the only one who has a right to be worshipped. I also bear witness that Prophet Moses, Prophet Jesus, and Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon them, are the messengers of God, and I seek refuge in Allah from the rejected Satan. So greetings of peace, and thanks for tuning in. May the peace and blessings of Allah be with you. So in these videos are designed to prepare for the coming of Imam Mahdi as well as second coming of Jesus, peace and blessings be upon them, and they're also known as the Mashiachs in the Jewish tradition. So before I get into this video, I just want to mention quickly that, I've noticed there's lots of drama queens and clowns out there claiming to be Imam Mahdi. And know that these people, anybody claiming to be Imam Mahdi, is clearly a liar. Imam Mahdi will not be seeking to rule, will not be seeking any positions of authority or power. Any good leader out there will not be seeking positions of power or positions of rulership. So I just want to say that quickly. As we know from the hadiths of Prophet Muhammad, peace and blessings be upon him, mentioned there will be a conflict at the death of a caliph, and a man among the residents of Medina will go out fleeing to Mecca. Some people will come to pledge allegiance to him, although he is unwilling. So Imam Mahdi will be unwilling to take the leader of Khalifa. Okay, so like I mentioned, anybody claiming that they're Imam Mahdi, know that is clearly a liar. Imam Mahdi will not want to take the rulership of the Muslims. He will not want to be Khalifa. He will not be claiming that he's Imam Mahdi, obviously. And they will pledge allegiance to him between the corner of the Kaaba and the station of Abraham. And an army from Syria will be dispatched for him, and they will be swallowed up in the desert between Mecca and Medina. Then the people will see that the saints of Syria and strong tribes of Iraq will come to him and pledge allegiance to him between the corner and the station. So this is an authentic hadith Hassan, which is a good rating of authenticity, and it's sourced in Abi Dawood. So Imam Mahdi will not be claiming whatsoever, not looking for positions of power. He will not be seeking positions of authority. He will refuse. He'll be unwilling to taking the bay'ah from the people. And according to other hadiths, it'll take several attempts to, he'll be running away from the people because they were trying to pledge allegiance to him, but he doesn't want it. So any clown or a drama queen out there claiming that they're Imam Mahdi, know what they are. They're just clowns and drama queens, and they're obviously liars. So I just want to make that clear, crystal clear, and to also know that the believers at some point are going to have to defend themselves. This is not just making a Muslim village out in Timbuktu in the forest or jungle somewhere and be isolated, and that at some point we're going to have to defend ourselves, because the way that the system the shaitan works, is going to go after. They don't want to lose. They want full control. They want full power. They don't want to share it. So as Muslims, at some point, we're going to have to defend ourselves, because the system of the shaitan will come after those Muslim villages if they're not defended. So we're going to get into some Quran verses here, and they'll be listed in the description box below. I won't be mentioning the chapter numbers and verses numbers, so I'll just go through this. I call to witness those messengers of truth who were sent forth to spread goodness in continual series, those that drive off forcefully falsehood and forces of evil as chaff is carried before the wind, and those that spread the truth far and wide, and those that fully distinguish the right from the wrong, and those carrying the message of rising to eminence far and wide, the Quran, and those presenting the source of eminence in attempt to purify some of the abominations of sin and to warn others. And some of us submit to the will of God, while some of us are deviators from the right course. It has also been revealed to the Prophet that those who submit to God's commandments are actually those who earnestly aim in the right way and find it out, and that the deviators from the right course are the fuel of the hellfire. So do not listen to those who cry lies to the truth, and patiently persevere in the face of all that these enemies say and withdraw from them in a graceful manner. Leave me to deal with those who belie the truth and who are possessors of ease and plenty, and give them little respite. Therefore keep on reminding the people. Surely reminding does good. And your Lord do announce his supremacy, and purify your clothes and your heart. And idol worship spare no pains to exterminate it, and shun all uncleanliness, and bestow no favor seeking to get more in return, and endure your trials with perseverance for the sake of your Lord. For the disbelievers it will not be easy to behold the complete triumph of truth. Leave me alone to deal with whom I have created. Surely it is we who have revealed to you the Quran by gradual and piecemeal revelation. Therefore abide perseveringly by the commandments of your Lord, and wait for the fulfillment of the prophecies, and yield to none of the sinful and ungrateful disbelievers. We have certainly created a human being to face obstacles and to struggle hard to achieve a marvelous goal. So, very important that we don't. There's a few takeaways here that I'm going to mention. Um, Allah says here to be persevering in abiding by the laws and commandments of Allah, the unique creator of all that exists, and wait for the fulfillment of the prophecies. That we shouldn't be rushing into, some people are trying to claim that they're Imam Mahdi, and we've seen how that's happened in the past. As we know, in 1979, when Juhi Man, who was claiming to be Imam Mahdi, stormed forcefully the Kaaba, took hostages, and were forcing people to give him bayah, and they obviously met their demise. So trying to force the situation is not going to work. Trying to claim you're Imam Mahdi is not going to work. As we know from the authentic hadith, as I just mentioned earlier in the video, that Imam Mahdi is going to be unwilling to take the bay'ah. He's going to be unwilling to be the Khalifa of the Ummah. So any clown, any drama queen out there claiming they're Imam Mahdi, know what they are. They're truly liars. So we need to be patiently persevering in the commandments of Allah, doing what Allah makes lawful, staying away from the unlawful things that Allah forbids, and waiting for the fulfillment of these prophecies, okay? And in the meantime, we should be preparing for their coming. And that is the goal of these videos. And also to spread the messages of Allah, His laws and commandments, and His guidance of the Quran far and wide, to help people raise to eminence, and to help warn those who are in sin and in disbelief. Um, you know, we should also look here, as Allah says, to patiently persevere in what these enemies say, and withdraw with them with a graceful manner, and to leave Allah to deal with those who belie the truth and who are possessors of ease and plenty, and give them little respite. So we can allow Allah to take care of these, disobedient liars and hypocrites of the world, and leave Allah to deal with them. Allah is the one who created them to begin with, and it is Allah's responsibility for their guidance. So Allah permits the shaitan to interfere in the world and with these disbelievers who are hypocrites and have hardened hearts because of disbelief. That shaitan can create all sorts of problems within their lives. So it's very important for us to understand the law of free will. Allah gave us free will, so we should allow others free will and not interfere in other people's lives. That we can guide them, we can remind them, and we can warn those who are on the wrong path. Because this is a cause and effect universe, that our actions, our thoughts, our intentions, will be reflected in the world. That's just the way Allah designed this world, that what we do and say has consequences, not only in this world but in the hereafter as well. So if we can warn, we can give reminders to those out there, spread the messages far and wide, be patiently persevering in the prophecies to be fulfilled, And this will help us protect us, by doing good to others, by living a high moral life, by doing what Allah makes lawful, staying away from the unlawful things that Allah forbids. All these will help gain protection, forgiving others that have done wrong to us, giving charity, protecting our chastity, being truthful, being honest, being obedient to Allah, unique creator of all that exists, praising Allah again and again. All these are ways to seek Allah's protection um, by our actions and deeds, and acknowledgement of Allah's supremacy and Allah's power. So it's important for us to understand these concepts, because the shaitan actually works for Allah. The shaitan actually works for the true believers and for the messengers, as Allah says here in chapter 22, verses 52 through 54. And we have sent no messenger, nor a prophet before you, but when he longed to attain what he sought, Satan interfered and put hindrances in the way of what he sought after. But Allah removes the hindrances that are placed by the shaitan. Then Allah firmly establishes His messages, and Allah is all-knowing and all-wise. Allah permits the interference of the shaitan so that He may make the hindrances which shaitan puts in the way of the messengers serve as a trial for those whose hearts carry disease of hypocrisy, and for those whose hearts are hardened because of disbelief. In fact, the wrongdoers have gone far in their antagonism. And He permits this so that those who have been given knowledge may know that this Quran is the truth from your Lord, and may believe in it and humble themselves before Him, before their very hearts. And Allah will indeed be the guide of those who believe to the straight and right path. So Allah sends out the shaitan into the world as sort of a punishment to those who are, disbelievers, who are wrongdoers, who are hypocrites. And as we see that in as the pandemic today going on, that we're seeing a lot of hypocrisy in those who are supposedly religious and say they're believers, but they don't truly believe in Allah's protection. They promote the pandemic and promote, the jelly jabs and not taking Allah as your shield. So it's exposing a lot of falsehood in the world. We know that the shaitanic system runs deep within all governments, with all militaries around the world, within all the big corporations and the financial system, the big banks, central banks out there. It's all influenced by the shaitan. And as I mentioned before, when the true believers stand up and swear allegiance to Imam Mahdi, there'll be an army sent against Imam Mahdi very swiftly from Syria, but Allah will protect Imam Mahdi as well as the believers, and that army will be swallowed up in the desert between Mecca and Medina. So as believers, we just can't go hiding away in some Muslim village and think that everything's hunky-dory, that we're going to have to stand up and defend ourselves. And that doesn't mean that we have to be aggressive and oppressive like the shaitanic system does, and the governments around the world do, but it means that we have to defend ourselves, defend the Holy Lands, defend Islam, defend the believers. This will have to be done. We believers will have to stand up. And this is all in preparation of the coming of Imam Mahdi, as well as the second coming of Jesus. They will not be able to do it alone. They will need help. They will need those that, are fearless of nothing except Allah, the unique creator of all that exists. So very important to understand that. Very important for us to be patient at this time, be patient in the fulfillment of these prophecies, allowing free will to occur, knowing that it is a cause and effect universe. Those that are hypocrites, those that are liars, those that have disbelief in their hearts and hindering others from the path of Allah, know that these people will have the shaitan to deal with. Allah will send shaitan and other things that Allah does to punish these people because of their disbelief, as a means to get them back to the right path. So very important for us to understand that concept and the preparation of the coming of Imam Mahdi, as well as the second coming of Jesus, peace and blessings be upon them, also known as the Mashiachs. So that's the basis of this video. Um, I do mention some of these topics in different ways, and just to give, because it's not really talked about a lot out there, so some of my stuff is repeated in different ways, and that's due to the importance of it. So I feel like there's not many people talking about this in the Ummah, not barely any, actually very little. So I just want to give this knowledge and spread it far and wide as Allah, as a commandment of Allah, to spread His words and knowledge and guidance far and wide, to help raise the people to higher levels of consciousness and perfect their light at a higher level, and to warn those who are off the path and may be eyeballs deep in sin. So for us to understand that, most virtually all the governments are Dajjalic and satanic, to varying degrees out there. The financial system is all satanic for the most part. It's a slavery debt system, and the central banks are behind it, as well as the big corporations. So, and other groups as well are with the shaitan and the Dajjalic system, but they're maybe not so upfront about it. So, as true believers, we're going to have to band together. We're going to have to, at some point, defend ourselves from these satanic forces. They're just not going to let the believers, rise to power. It's just, you don't understand how the dark side works if you think that it's just you're going to hide in some Muslim village and it's all going to be hunky-dory. That you're going to have to make a stand. We're going to have to defend the believers. We're going to have to fight for what Allah has guided us to do. And these videos these videos, I said, are designed for the preparation of the coming of Imam Mahdi, as well as the second coming of Jesus, peace and blessings be upon them, and for us to understand that, there's a lot of people out there that think that, oh, it's love and light, you don't need to fight, war is bad, blah blah blah. But if we have to defend ourselves, we're going to have to defend ourselves, and we have to understand these concepts, because if we're all just love and light, and um, everything is hunky-dory, you're okay with the slavery debt system, you're okay with the Dajjalic and satanic laws that are trying to be forced against people's free will, trying to force people to go against God's ways and God's laws and commandments. If you think everything's hunky-dory, well, it's very far from the truth, and someday we're going to have to band together.